Good morning. Wow, okay, that's the first I've heard my voice on a microphone in a while. Good morning. We're going to sing a couple songs to warm you up. If you want to sing along or dance or clap or anything, you're more than welcome to. It's a wonderful way to start a perfect day in Paradise, Nevada. Holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love the people all around. Let me love the people all around. Oh, let me love the people all around. Let me love the people all around. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live to give and share with all. Let me live to give and share with all. Oh, let me live to give and share with all. Let me live to give and share with all. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me share in a holy, holy way. Let me share in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me share in a holy, holy way. Let me share in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me share the blessings that are mine. Let me share the blessings that are mine. Oh, let me share the blessings so divine. Let me share the blessings so divine. Oh, let me share in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me share in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me share in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me share in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Yeah.
All right. So we're loving, we're living, we're sharing, and now we're going to just talk about and affirm that we are the energy of God.
Yes.
Because that's all there is, really. But all the words are there. If you want to sing along, please do.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Here we go.
I am the energy of God. I am the energy of God. I am the energy of God. I am the energy of God.
See, that's pretty easy.
Yep.
Let's channel some joy. Let's be the energy of joy.
I am the energy of joy. I am the energy of joy. I am the energy of joy. I am the energy of joy.
Nice. And now we'll just center ourselves in peace.
I am the energy of peace. I am the energy of peace. I am the energy of peace. I am the energy of peace.
Let's go back to God. Always start and end with God. Yeah.
I am the energy of God. I am the energy of God. I am the energy of God. I am the energy of God.
Just that last line.
I am the energy of God.
One more time.
I am the energy
have a seat just for a minute. It won't be too long. Actually, maybe you all can just stay up here if you want. Be all right. Just want to say good morning if you weren't here when I said it first time. Good morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas, where it's always a perfect day in paradise. It's beautifully warm. It's beautifully dry. Just spent 9 days in various parts of the Midwest, so I love the dry, and I'm happy for it to be back in my body. But I'm grateful to be back safe and sound and here with you all once again. If this is your first time in our center, we absolutely welcome you this morning. You are a treasured human being and spiritual creation, a perfect and divine emanation from the mind of God. We believe that God is all there is. That's all that ever existed before the beginning of time, and since then, it's still all God. That's all that God creates, is from itself, with itself, of itself. So you are a magnificent creation of God. We are discovering that on our own and together here, and then we are working to create a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. So however you found us, we're grateful for that. You have a connection card for our first-time attendees, our second-time attendees especially. Please fill that out completely if you choose, or as completely as you choose, so we can find out more about you, how you found us, and ways that we might stay connected with you. Our second-time attendees, something struck a chord in you, something sparked something in you. We're grateful for that. Keep coming back, as our friends in other disciplines say, because it works, and we're grateful that you are here. If you're joining us online now, live, or anywhere else in the world at any time, you're absolutely welcome in this magnificent thing called the interwebs. We're grateful that you're joining us here this morning. We have wonderful song to sing in just a moment, but I first want to point your attention to these beautiful flowers we have here this morning. Two creations of Larry Thompson. First over here on the left from Theo Ann Burns in loving memory of Theo Ella Burns, RN, Dr. Richard H. Burns, and Dr. Richard H. Burns, Jr. Thank you, Theo, in memory of her beautiful family. And from Steve Douglas in loving memory of Patricia Butler Douglas, his wife, our wonderful practitioner. And so we're grateful for these beautiful arrangements, Larry, and for the memory of family and loved ones present in this room today. Thank you so much for that. All right. So now we're going to sing again. Now that everybody's here, now that you're warmed up, now that you're ready, we're going to go ahead and sing. We're going to sing about being a stand for peace and truth and love. And so if you want to stand, you might do that, because we're taking a stand, we're making a stand, and we are the stand.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. Yeah.
Welcome and share that love and peace and joy with another. Introduce yourself to people you don't know.
As we move into the meditation or into this morning's contemplation time, we invite you to check in on Facebook and these things. I'm going to turn mine off. Suggest you do the same. There's not anything that's going to take place during this next hour that you really need to know about other than what's taking place right here. So cell phones off, if you will, please. So we're going to begin with this week's affirmation from the program, suggesting that you make copies of it, a number of them, so you can put them various places, bathroom mirror, kitchen counter, dashboard of the car, because as you remind yourself of the truth of this multiple times during the day, it begins to sink down into your whole being and consciousness. So it's something more than just you're saying it. It's becoming who you are. So let's join together in saying this affirmation. As I see through the eyes of compassion, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I see as God sees, and all is well. So I'm inviting you to take in a deep breath. Let the music take us into this silent place for a moment, and then I'll do the morning's invocation.
Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. My heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go.
Wherever love leads me, I will go. Sometimes we're led into places and situations. We find ourselves wondering, what am I doing here? What's going on? Common to think, what have I done to create this situation in my life? But our theme for the month is kindness, and today, kindness toward ourselves. So we open to the idea that we need not put ourselves down. As I read earlier in the week in the Science of Mind magazine, the individual had built a brick wall, realized that 2 bricks were at an angle, and he was embarrassed and showed it to someone. He was told the wall was beautiful, and the monk asked, "Can't you see the 2 that are at an angle?" The other man replied, "Yes, but I also see the 998 that aren't." So it is with ourselves. Let us not dwell upon those 2 things about ourselves that we don't appreciate, but on the 998 that are absolutely beautiful and magnificent. And so as we take part in this celebration service this morning, and believe me, we all are taking part in it and of it. Each of us is here for a reason, and the collective consciousness draws out of and inspires into the music and the words everything necessary for us to take into ourselves this day and be enlivened and illumined and spiritually fulfilled. This is what we welcome in this service, in this celebration of spirit, having given each one of us life, moving us forward into expression, individually and collectively, so that we may experience the fullness of God's love flowing through us into expression. It is this that I give thanks for, is the opportunity to be here right now and experience the glory of who I am. I accept this on behalf of all of us here present and those who are observing from afar. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Right here, right now. you are divine. Though there is darkness, there is light. Though you are human, you are divine. Though there are shadows inside, every breath you breathe in light. Every breath you breathe in light. Every breath we breathe in light 3 times. Every breath we breathe in light. Every breath we breathe in light. Every breath we breathe in light. Pavana, 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 pavana. Pavan Guru, Pavan Guru, Waheguru, Waheguru, Pavan Guru, Pavana, 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 Pavana. Pavan Guru, Pavan Guru, Waheguru, Waheguru, Pavan Guru. Breath is your guide, it's your sage, is your knowledge. Breath, breathe in light. Breath is your guide, is your sage, is your knowledge. Breath, breathe in light. Takes you beyond, love beyond. This heart is open wide, and the universe lives in. Sing it with me. This heart is open wide, and the whole universe lives inside. The whole universe lives inside. This heart is open wide, and the whole universe lives inside. This heart is open wide, and the whole universe lives inside. This heart is open, heart is open wide. This heart is open, heart is open wide. Heart is open, heart is open wide. So breathe in light. Breathe, breathe in light. Just breathe. Just
I'm just breathing in the light right now. You want to just stay there for the next half hour, but I can't. Wow, beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Johanna. So I have a goal this morning. I have a new context for the way I prepare and what I want to share with you on a Sunday morning. And one of the things that I'm working with is just to have a goal in mind for every single person who's listening. And so in thinking about what our mission is here, our mission as a center is, with everything that we do and everything that we provide and everything that we gather together to experience, at the heart of it is an idea that what we do is inspire one another, each other, all of us, to have an experience of conscious union with our Creator, to know in a conscious way that we live in absolute unity with the one that created us. And it is from that consciousness then that life happens. And so my goal with that in mind this morning would be that we experience a changed life because we're changing our behavior. Not our beliefs, not our thoughts, our behavior. Change the way we respond, change the way we react, change the way we are in a certain situation. And so I have one point to make this morning, and I brought somebody along who's going to help me make it a few different ways, a few different times, and perhaps you might know this person. Let's see. Here we go, me and the button. Oops, there we go. See, I did it again. Joe, will you play that first slide, please?
Now, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Amen. All right, amen.
If you couldn't hear that, it is, how are you going to love yourself? How can you love someone else if you can't love yourself, basically? He says it a lot better. But if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love anyone else? And that is the point this morning. I don't know about you, but I can be pretty harshly critical of myself at times. Anyone else? I find myself occasionally holding myself in comparison to a fellow human being, and I kind of come up short. Yeah? Some of you know this. Corey and I just spent about 9 days in 2 different places in the country with people that we love. And I discovered something about myself and about life that was pretty powerful for me and useful in my life, and I think it might be useful for you in your life, and that's why I'm bringing it to you this morning. One of the trips that we made was to Ohio, where I grew up. Spent the first 23 years of my life in Ohio, and we were there to see my parents, Ken and Diane, both 84 years old, married to each other for 63 years next month. Pretty amazing. Yeah. Let's give them a hand. Let's give relationships a hand. The overt reason, really, that I went, because I wanted to be there in person to hear the results of what was a rather comprehensive neuropsych evaluation that my dad went through to find out where he is kind of on the pathway of dementia. And so that was the reason that I made the plans to go, because the test was some weeks ago and they were going to have the results, and I wanted to hear what was going on and kind of see if there were any plans, any treatment, anything like that that could be had. Well, as it turns out, the results were not available. So the purpose that I thought my trip was for was unfulfilled. So that was interesting. And then I thought about this community, and I thought about you, who I know, those of you that I know, and those of you whose stories I know, and I know a good chunk of this community. And I know that many in this community have had similar experiences with loved ones. Or, you have a family dynamic that suddenly shows up, and it's something that's either unexpected or unpleasant, or it's something that you are absolutely convinced that you are in no way equipped to deal with, right? Anybody ever had that come up? Yeah. The question becomes, how is it that we react when that occurs? Or how do we respond? Or do we react or respond? And there's a difference. If you can think of those kind of situations that you have faced in your life, whether recent or not, in general, what is your initial way of being, way of addressing it? Is it a reaction? Is it a response? What is your internal dialogue that goes on when that happens? Or what is your external conversation? You know, do you feel like a victim? Do you get angry? Are you guilty? Are you mad? Are you upset? Do you feel powerless? You know, what kind of internal and external conversation goes on? Does one affect the other? And can we move from reaction, which is generally instinctual and immediate and often not in our highest and best interest, can we move from that to response? And of course, the answer to those last two questions is yes, of course we can. But it is about becoming more conscious, more aware, more thoughtful, more deliberate in our actions. And so for us to get some insight, maybe some clarity for our own journey in this regard, we can find it both in Scripture and in our own holy text, or our own sacred text, the Science of Mind textbook from Ernest Holmes. I want to look at them first actually in chronological order, just because one showed up before the other. So first, look at the master teacher, what we call the master teacher, who we call the master teacher, Jesus, who spent so much of his life not subverting, but kind of turning more traditional teaching on its ear. He had an insight into those truths that became something that we see as universal, eternal truth that can never change. And in one famous instance, he was being challenged by some of the older, wiser teachers about his own embodiment, his own grasp of Scripture, of the law. And they said, what is the most important commandment? And he said, and he basically kind of turned things inside out. He said, first it's to love God, and then it's to love others as yourself. I'm paraphrasing. And when I saw that again, when I read that piece of it again, and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, this is actually brilliant, and it runs pretty deep. First, of course, love God. Not just adoration, love of the Creator, not just this magnificent, wonderful love affair we can have with that which created us and just be so grateful and celebratory all of the time. Not just love of God, not just loving God, loving the Creator, but loving as God loves, which is unconditionally, without regard for anything, without judgment, just wild abandon love. In the Science of Mind book, Ernest Holmes wrote, "Love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. It is written that God is love, and that we are his expressed likeness, the image of the eternal being. Love is self-givingness through creation, the impartation of the divine through the human. The essence of love, while elusive, pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit." And this last part I love. Only love knows love, and love knows only love. Words cannot express its depths or meaning. Only love knows love, and love knows only love. That's the idea of loving God and loving as God loves. And then the second part of it is the really brilliant part, because he said, love others, love your neighbor as yourself. Well, if you look at that on its face and in a deeper way, which comes first? Loving yourself, right?
Remember, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Amen! Can I get...
I told you he was going to help hammer the point home. She. And of course, all of this is based on the universal truth. The idea that we adhere to in this faith, that we understand is the way the universe works, the way creation happens in our own life and in the universal sense, as within, so without. As within, so without. The world that I see out here, the world that I experience out here, begins within me, begins within myself. What I see out there is conjured up by my interior world, by the world of my consciousness, my beliefs, my acceptance, my expectancy. All of that conditioning that I have within me impacts the world that I see out there. Ernest Holmes also wrote, "You are either attracting or repelling in accord with your mental attitudes. You are either identifying yourself with lack or with abundance, with love and friendship or with indifference. You cannot keep from attracting into your experience that which corresponds to the sum total of your states of consciousness. Now that's good news, actually, because sometimes we get into this teaching, we start studying and practicing, and we think every single thought matters. Every single thought that I think is going to impact my experience, so I'm frozen in terror because I don't think that. Oh no, now you're going to get sick, whatever. While that is true in the aggregate, it is the preponderance of our consciousness. It is the sum total, as he says, of our states of consciousness. He says, it is like the law of reflection. The reflection corresponds to the image held before a mirror. Your life is a mirror peopled with the forms of your own acceptance. Your life is a mirror peopled with the forms of your own acceptance. So with all of that said and maybe understood, I'm going to look back at my visit with my parents, at the experience of having a plan and not having that plan fulfilled in the ways that I thought. At first, I was disappointed, that my parents had not yet called the doctor to make an appointment to get the results so that the results could be shared and we could, hear some facts and maybe even make some decisions together. But it was interesting because rather than being angry or upset about it, I was more curious. I approached the whole mystery of it with curiosity rather than with judgment or anger. And because I did that, and that was coming from a place that was within myself, being a little gentler, not only with myself, but with the situation. Because I did that, what I was afforded then, what I had the glorious experience of, was deeper understanding, insight, and even compassion for both of my parents. Looking at my mother, who gets shorter and shorter every year, I felt like a giant standing next to her. It was very strange. But here's a woman who has been married to this man for almost 63 years. And she is having to take on more of not only the decisions, but the tasks, physically, of their life. This is her best friend. She's known him for almost 80 years. They were childhood friends. And she's watching him decline. So I got to see how she might not want to know everything there is to know about this, right? And then my dad, who one night, Corey and I were sitting out in their TV room talking, and all of a sudden he just said, "So, how do I seem to you?" And we had talked about it actually earlier that day and said, he seems about the same to us as he seemed when we saw him in January. Of course, we see him once or twice a year. There's a whole difference than, seeing it every day. But he asked that because he is feeling within himself that he is a failure, worthless. He can't do the things he wants to do. He can't put words together the way he'd like to, that kind of thing. So in approaching a situation like that with curiosity, I got to see into them more. I heard the word intimacy once pronounced "into me you see," right? That's kind of how it is. And that was able to happen because I was gentler within myself. When things weren't going as the way I thought I had planned them to go, or the reason for my being there, rather than being upset about it, even within myself, I was thinking of my parents. I was thinking of how much love we share, how much I love them and they love me. And realizing the very true thing that time spent together is never wasted. It is never for naught when it is a loving relationship. And that is something I may never have experienced if, what I thought I was going for had happened. And so that is basically my invitation, my request, my offer to you this week for your own life, for your own practice, for your own application of this kind of idea. When something shows up in your family, at your work, in your own life that is unexpected, a dynamic that shows up that's unexpected, unpleasant, that you don't feel equipped to deal with, pause for a moment. Check in with yourself. How am I reacting, first of all? And if I am reacting, what is that initial reaction? Is it negative? And if it is, that's something I can work with later. Can I move from this instinctual immediate reaction to a response? How can I approach this more gently? Can I open myself to greater understanding or clarity or compassion for myself, for the other, or for the others in this situation? So much of our life improving has to do with our approaching something in a more deliberate way rather than reacting to everything. One of the things that we teach in our classes is that you cannot change another person. However, if you change the way you act, they will likely react to you differently, so they will seem to be changing. Right? Because most of us live in a reactive sort of way in our relationships, in our approach to life. If instead we can just take that beat and check in. What's going on in me? How can I address this in a more compassionate way? How can I be kinder and gentler with myself or with this other, with this situation that's happening? Respond rather than react. And as the week unfolded for me, what I also experienced, I think it's related, is that I slept more and better than I have in probably years because all of this was going on. So that's just a side benefit that you might be interested in for yourself. You know, things within oneself begin to rearrange and settle and get to a place of equilibrium and greater peace and greater clarity. So imagine the better world we could inhabit, the better life each of us could have if everyone that is here today, everyone that is listening or hearing these words, changed our own customary behavior when these dynamics show up in life. Imagine what the world would be like. There would be more peace. There would be more compassion. There would be more love. We would be moving closer to a world that works for everyone. If we change the way we act, if we change the way we address situations. Ernest Holmes wrote, "Let us know that the mind of God, the law of God, operates exactly like a mirror. It reflects back to us what we present to it. Let us learn to rightly use the power greater than we are, accept it as ever present with us, responding to us, always reacting affirmatively when we do, always casting out the past as we let it, always creating that new future we accept. Let us begin to feel that we are worthy of the best we can envision. Worthy of the best we can envision. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Let us get joy out of living and have a sense of happiness about it. Let us learn to trust where we cannot trace, feeling that each day is an adventure down the pathway of love and success. Let us learn to trust where we cannot trace. I love that. That's living by faith. That's living with the awareness that God really is on our side. God really is for us. God is always for creation. And that we are always on the pathway of a new experience, that there is joy in the becoming. But, that simply cannot, and it will not happen until you and I start loving ourselves better and deeper.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here?
Oh yeah. So if you would say after me, I am the presence of love in my world. Kind and loving toward myself and others. I am the presence of love in my world. Kind and loving toward myself and others. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you. All right. So we will move into our offering time in just a minute or so, but first I want to have a moment to call Michael Shalaba forward. He is our local outreach coordinator, and he's done a wonderful job now for over a year, setting us up with a monthly partner, a charity partner every month, and then we make a donation and then serve that partner as well. Here's Michael. Let's welcome him.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. Thanks for everyone who came out last month. We made over 900 hygiene bags at New Vista, so thank you for coming out and giving us your time and your effort. This month, our service project and organization we're partnering with is the Boys and Girls Club of Southern Nevada. And the service day is going to be a little different this month. It's actually going to be this Wednesday from 10 to noon. They're not open on the weekends, so we're doing it during the week. And what I'd like to do is, before I invite the representative up, if you are interested in signing up, I'll be in the lobby today to register you and answer any questions you may have. So if we can give a warm round of applause to Jackie from Boys and Girls of Southern Nevada to come and accept this donation, and she's going to tell you a little bit about the club.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm from the Boys and Girls Club of Southern Nevada. I'm actually the clubhouse director at this clubhouse right here on the UNLV campus. If you've never been there, it's an awesome clubhouse. You guys should stop by sometime. I was actually surprised how close you guys are, too. But so a couple of weeks ago, I got a phone call from Michael, who wanted to do a donation for us as well as a service project. And we get this kind of stuff a lot. We basically base our entire programming off of donations and community service and that sort of thing. So if you're unfamiliar with what the Boys and Girls Club is, our mission statement basically states that we are here to enable all youth to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. And so everything we do every day is one step closer to that mission. Every activity we run, every game that we play, every program that the kids participate in is a part of reaching that mission. And the service project that will be happening on Wednesday from 10 a.m. to noon is we have a closet that needs some organization, and we also have a new art director coming in that could really use some help planning out some art activities. So we're going to have some of you guys come out and help. If anybody would like to help, as Michael said, you guys can sign up. It would be great to have as many people as possible. We're just doing everything we can to make the club the best place possible. But we're really happy to accept the donation, really happy that you guys wanted to reach out and be a part of the clubs. And again, the club is a place where kids from every background, every ethnicity, every religious belief, every individual can come and participate in the programming and can be and can be a part of something bigger in their community. These are actually my god kids. We were supposed to have some kids from the club come out, but we got a flat tire last minute, so my best friend let me bring some of these little guys along. But we just wanted to say thank you guys. We really feel the love, and we really feel the community outreach, and this is awesome. So thank you guys so much. Can you guys say hi? Thank you.
How wonderful. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Michael. That's awesome. All right, so somebody's water. There you go. So now it's time to do that sharing financially that we do in this community. Very generous. Thank you so much for your support of this community and making it possible for us to give a portion of what we receive to these wonderful organizations every month. And so I invite the prosperity acceptors to move forward. We're going to prepare to give the gift that you give this morning, or in some other way, use your connection card to symbolize that giving. We do a physical blessing, a personal blessing of this, and then we just release it to its highest use within this community and outside of it, as we tithe 10% to our global denomination so that Centers for Spiritual Living may continue its work in the world. We do that to fund this ministry locally as well. So I'm grateful for your giving. Hold it near your heart. Give it a silent blessing, and then we'll send it on its way. And so it is.
This one has a chant in it, both English and Sanskrit. And the English is, my heart beats one, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. So we can sing that all together. And then the Sanskrit is familiar to some. Hare Krishna, And I like to think about all of the people all around the world who are singing that at the exact same time when I sing that. So. In our short, sweet lives, we're all searching for the light, the same light that makes trees thrive. Our roots grow down, branches reach for the sky. I know inside that you and we share the same heart, the same soul, the same love, and I know my heart beats one, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. My heart beats one, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hallelujah, 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 my heart beats one, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. My heart beats one, yeah, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. My heart beats one, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. My heart beats one, your heart beats one, this heart beats one, our hearts beat as one. Yeah.
saw quite the setup in the lobby there. Johanna has brought product, and go out, stop and shop, but mostly say hi and love on her some. It's great to have you here and great to meet you. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to end our service with prayer in just a moment. First, a few things to share with you about what's happening around here. We have a book of the month for this month written by one of our own fabulous ministers from Santa Rosa, Dr. Edward Viljoen. It's called Ordinary Goodness, and it is about how we can address the challenges in our life and we don't have to struggle. We don't have to struggle. We can do it through faith, through kindness, and compassion, and that way we can have peaceful and contented lives. It's 20% off the whole month of August. Go over to the bookstore. Well, go over there anyway because it's fabulous, but the book is a really good buy this month. We've added something to our schedule this week, Tuesday morning, starting at 10:30. We're going to screen the movie The Shack. Has anyone seen The Shack? Yeah, I hear it's an amazing experience. Lynn has the movie. She's going to show it on Tuesday starting at 10:30. You're going to go across the way afterwards and eat and discuss, so bring some food, a snack, or your favorite dish to share. Watch the movie, free, no charge. You'll go over afterwards and talk about the message you received from that fabulous movie, The Shack, starting at 10:30 right here in this room on Tuesday. Again, the service project is Wednesday, just 2 hours, 10 to 12, very close by here. Go see Michael in the lobby, and you can find out more information about that. That night, we will have our evening service. This week is practitioners Judy Poteet and Bobby Williams. Their title is A Million Acts of Kindness. I don't think we're going to have to count, right? We're not going to have to count to 1 million. But we'll just see 1 million of those acts of kindness happening. It's going to be awesome. They are always terrific. Wonderful presentation. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock p.m. right here in this room. We have classes beginning. Go out and see the Empower You table in the lobby. A beautiful selection of classes this fall. Our spiritual practices class based on affirmative prayer or treatment and meditation. The second year of practitioner studies. Some of us are on gear for that. Something called Are You Your Own Best Friend? It's a non-certificated class open to everyone. You can find out more about it at the Empower You table. Also, Developing Your Divine Voice, something that you might want to check out. And finally, Beyond Limits, our first certificated class. If you have not taken any certificated classes, that's where you begin with Beyond Limits. So go see the Empower You table. Will you be out there, Lynn? Lynn will be out there to answer your questions and help you register for any of those classes. Next Sunday is the 4th Sunday of the month already. It's almost the end of August. Dear Lord, what's happening to time? But anyway, it's our I Am Enough free gathering. A little over an hour, we address the issue of sufficiency, enoughness in our life, whether it's enough love, enough money, enough time, I am enough, whatever that is. If you're feeling it or not feeling it, it's a safe place to come and share and have some exercises to empower yourself to move beyond anything that's holding you up. First Saturday of September will be our quarterly cleanup day. It is a time to come together for a few hours on a Saturday and help spruce up the center inwardly and outwardly. So there will be different projects. Sabrina Frick's phone number is there and posted around the center, or you can sign up in the lobby. It's a fun time. We provide food, and it's a terrific experience on the first Saturday of September. Then the second Sunday is our annual membership meeting. Those of you who are members, this is one of your obligations and duties according to the bylaws. Please come to the meeting. You can hear what's going on around the center. We will have new members to the council elected. We have bylaw changes to approve this year. If you're not a member, you're certainly welcome to attend, but we especially invite all members to attend. It's at noon. It lasts about an hour, maybe a little longer. It'll be a wonderful experience, and you'll find out more about what's going on around here as the center. And finally, did you bring something to eat or drink today? Anybody? All y'all who brought stuff? Wow, that looks really good. I think I might leave now. Oh, no, I'll wait. But anyway, thank you for those of you who brought something. Next week, if your last name starts with those letters, M, N, O, P, or Y, consider bringing something to eat or drink or someone to share with us. We're not going to eat or drink them, but we will share in their spirit, and that would be lovely. Or if you just feel like it. Either way, if you don't bring it, we don't have anything. So that's good. We don't have anything to eat. We have lots. We have all we need. But we don't have anything to eat if you don't bring it. So thank you for those of you who are supporting that effort. Lots going on. It's a wonderful pre-fall season here in Paradise, Nevada, and we're going to end with prayer as we always do. I invite our Ministry of Prayer to stand. Our Ministry of Prayer are the practitioners and ministers who are in service here to you in any way that we may spiritually support you. If you have a specific request you'd like to make, there's a space on your connection card, or you can drop a card in the box in the lobby, write an email to the Ministry of Prayer. We're happy to address that specifically. But we surround you this morning literally, but just know that every day of every week you are surrounded by this Ministry of Prayer spiritually as we do our affirmative prayer on your behalf, knowing that God is present and active and operating in ways of divine right action always in your life. So with that in mind, let's take in a deep breath. And we let that breath out. And we go into that spiritual practice of recognition, of recognizing the very heart of what we believe here, that God is all there is. There is one life. I call it God. It's all that is, was, or ever shall be. In the beginning, God created. In the beginning of what? In the beginning of time, of space. God created that. Which means that before time began, God already is. In the universal sense, it's formless and timeless. And yet from within it, all form, all time happens. In the beginning, God created. God created the physical universe as its own body, its own expression. And now we understand that this physical universe is expanding infinitely. It is reflecting its creator, which is infinite. And so everything in this universe, every one, every cell, every space, every moment, all of it has come from the one that I call God. And that one is love. It is wholeness and perfection, beauty and right action, peace, wisdom and order, supply. It simply is everything. And so it's all that I am. It is the image and likeness in which I am made, because it is the image and likeness in which all creation is made. So this is true for me, for everyone present, for all who hear these words, because this is true of all life and all form. And so we sit in this moment of realization, drawing ever nearer to that eternal truth, embracing and embodying it more fully perhaps than ever before, willing to say, I am that I am. And then to reflect it in a more conscious and complete way. To be the love that God is. To love not only the Creator, but as the Creator loves. Which means unconditionally. Without judgment. Without condemnation. Freely. With abandon. It's how we were made. And yes, most definitely, we must shine that and reflect that love for ourselves first. Not in a selfish way, but in a way that acknowledges the divine is within me. That is the love that I am. And as I feel that and shine that for myself, I can then shine it for others in my life. To be the place and energy of love in my world. Making it a better place because I am in it. And so I'm grateful for this awareness and this understanding. I'm grateful for this reminder this morning. And I give thanks for this community and all who make it up. Because we are making it up right now. We are participating, we are receiving, we are giving, we are sharing, and we are shining the light. And as we do that here together, we are empowered and enlivened to do it beyond these walls in the rest of our lives. And I'm grateful for that. And so I release now, I surrender this word, this prayer into the divine, magnificent, ultimate, and infinite law of God, where it's already known. We have simply brought ourselves back to conscious remembering. And as we do it, as we do that, it is free then to become our experience, to become the form, the people, and the events of our lives. And so we let go completely and let it do that, let it be that. And by its own nature, it must. So we let go now by saying together, and so it is. I am letting go of the things that no longer serve me. As I'm letting go, God's revealed and I am whole. I am letting go of the things that no longer serve me. As I'm letting go, God's revealed and I am whole. I am letting go of the things that no longer serve me. As I'm letting go, God's revealed and I am whole. All right, one last time on our feet for the end of the service. Let's sing I Release.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
All right, so one last time in this room, let's reach out and make a contact on either side of you. Touch the hand of the beloved. Please say after me, something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in everything I do.
Life is in everything I do.
I am it.
I am it.
I receive it.
I receive
I
it.
share it.
I share it.
And I accept it.
And I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it becomes.
Just the way that it becomes.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Amen.